coming for the wild card
Exactly,
round.
and I can't recall a team which has come from the wild card phase that has gone all the way to the title series. It's definitely extremely hard when you are relegated to that phase, and that's why these 10 teams are fighting tooth and nail just to get it to the first 2 spots, or eventually just earn a spot in the top 5, just to guarantee them of making it to the next round at least.
Here's Elterbrand. Because when you're a wild card team, ang ibig sabihin yan, hindi pa nagsisimula ang playoffs, dehadong-dehado ka na.
Mahirap talaga.
You have to play do-or-die games. All your
Almost
games
every other day.
All your games will be do-or-die games practically.
And you have to play...
pagod?
Tama, yung pagod, the fatigue factor, at the pressure that will definitely catch up with you eventually. Coca-Cola tried to do their best last year. They had a very good run, but eventually fatigue got the better of them, as we see here in Ginebra. Number 2 in fast break points, pushing the pace, scoring 6 points and limiting Barako to only 2.
Nice gliding layup para kay Sammy Monroe, and he has 4 points today.
Sammy Monroe has played 7 games out of the 8 for Barako Bull, was suspended once, and he more than made up for that with a huge performance against Alaska in their last game. Alam mo, sariwang-sariwa itong Barako Bull. They had a big game against Alaska, coming off a 10-day break during the All-Star Week. At ngayon naman, nagkaroon din sila ng 10 araw na preparasyon for Ginebra, who on the other side is playing its 3rd game in the last 7 days.
Pinag-uusapan natin na yung mga nahuhuli, yung mga wild card, napakahirap mag-champion. We've just been informed that back in 2004, Ginebra actually played in the wild card and then went on to win the championship.
That's a good 6 years ago. That's during the time of Torrey Braggs, if I recall right. But that's how difficult it can be repeated. It hasn't been done since, and most of the teams that have played in the wild card nakakalusot na sa quarterfinals, pero bihira na makatawid doon sa next phase.
Milton Ambrose into the basket, and he will go to the free throw line.
Yes, Ambrose has not been shooting the ball really great. One thing that he needs to do is make a conscious effort to get that ball inside the driving lane and push his way towards the basket. He is a tall, small forward, stands about 6'5", 6'6", but some problems with his field goal rate is weighing the percentage of his team down. 2-point percentage for Ambrose is only 29%. 3-point percentage is a measly 15.8%, but it's been in the free throw department that he has been really shooting the ball well. That's why he has to make that conscious effort to penetrate the basket.
I mean, admittedly, itong si Ambrose is more agile than Ovi Story.
Oh, without a doubt, yes.
Diba, more agile, more athletic. That's very obvious. But of course, it takes more than just athleticism to become a very effective import, especially for a team like Ginebra.
Definitely, and I'm sure that Ginebra would like to have more wins with Ambrose in their fold, but eventually they will have to make the decision on whether or not Ambrose is going to stick out with this lineup, or do they head into a different direction.
Here's Monroe, fires a 3. Rebound para kay Kagiwa. Ginebra up by 2, 8-6 as we near the halfway mark of the opening quarter. Here's Kagiwa on the left side. Kagiwa makes his move. Back outside, Elterbrand. Elterbrand back to Kagiwa on the right side. They go to Ambrose at the post with 8 to shoot. Ambrose with a hop, and basket is good.
High percentage shots yields dividends here for Ambrose. That's what we were talking about. He is definitely much taller than most of his defenders. Therefore, he can bring that basketball lower and deeper and help Ginebra increase its output.
Here's Gako. One more rebound para kay Kagiwa. Ginebra up by 4, and they're running here, and Rudy Hatfield will lay up plus a foul.
Barako Coffee not taking high percentage shots, only 3 of 15 from the field, 3 of 13 from the 2-point area, and as a result, Ginebra is pushing all cylinders, scoring 12 points, limiting Barako to only 6.
Rudy Hatfield all the way. Ginebra up by 6, and we'll be back with more PBA Wednesday action after these. The former PBA MVP Eric Mick, he understands how important it is to get on a winning streak, a winning track. And so far, 15.5 points in the last 2 games for a Ginebra team that's parang naghahanap ng winning tempo ito Ginebra.
Yes. Oh, and in spite of the fact that they're not playing according to expectations, Ginebra is 1-4. Of course, Major Payne, as you mentioned, has been at the top of his game. Over the last 9 or 10 years, and he continues to be the best big man available here for the Gin Kings.
As we send you over to Patricia.
There are many factors that aren't working for the Gin Kings. They're not shooting well, the team chemistry is still lacking, and they're very inconsistent. They do have that urgent need to win this game, and every single game, according to Coach Jong with Chico. Now, in the locker room, they talked about how they're up against a team that plays hard, with an import who gets points now, and with a local squad who now believes. So it's not going to be easy. And it was Eric Mank who said that everyone's pointing them to be the winners at the end of this game, but that just adds pressure to him. They do need to play well and build momentum from here on now. Miko?
I suppose if you play for Ginebra, the pressure is part of the package.
Well, anytime you play in the PBA, there's always pressure. Even if you're playing for a favored team or a team that's seen as supposedly an inferior one, there's always pressure. It's the perspective that you have in facing the pressure that's going to differentiate you from a winner or from a pretender.
In your many years as a PBA cager, gano'n ka nakatanda? Cager pa ang tawag sa'yo nung araw, no? How will you know if a player is handling pressure well? If a teammate is handling pressure well, or an opponent is not handling pressure well, how do you know?
There are players who are not poker-faced. You can sense if they are a little tight, or you can see from their game if they are shying away from their normal strong games. At makikita mo naman yan, you can measure also by the numbers if you're a little attentive when we talk about statistics. But these players have played against each other for a long time, and they know if their opponent is feeling the pressure, if their teammate is feeling the pressure. At for really good players, they take full advantage of that. Pag nararamdaman mo na nape-pressure yung kalaban mo, at kung ikaw naman ay maayos na teammate, tutulungan mo naman ang iyong kakampi nakakaramdam ng konting tightness. Talk about guys such as Willie Miller na bago naman dito sa Ginebra, probably for chemistry to happen in a shorter period of time, matutulungan din siya ng kanyang mga kasamang veterano na dito sa lineup and make him feel more welcome.
Well, right now, Barako Energy Coffee feeling the pressure now, down by 10 big points. They only have 6 points so far in the opening quarter. Here's Beck at the post. Outside Helterbrand. Helterbrand has been quite offensively so far. Nice tap there by the Barako defense. Monroe nearly committed a traveling violation but put up the shot in time at may kasama pang foul. So he will have 2 free throws.
The starting unit for Barako Bull hasn't put in the good offensive numbers. And now, Coach General Bakuli is hoping that the bench power, something that really paved the way for that huge second win for them, is going to come into effect. After the halfway mark of the first, they had 60 out of 106 points coming from their second unit in their last win against Alaska. And that is something that they need to utilize here against the first 5 of Ginebra, which has posted a 10-point advantage. 4:49 left here in the first.
That free throw was brought to you by BMEG Derby Ace Premium Formula. Dito ka na sa Liamado. Still a 9-point lead para sa Ginebra with 4:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Here's Helterbrand. Really, Vergara giving up a lot of size dito kay JJ Helterbrand. Now Kagiwa pulling up, then he scores.
First 2 points here for Mark Kagiwa after serving a 1-game suspension. Kagiwa is the leading local scorer for Ginebra, and they missed his services terribly in that defeat to the Derby Ace Liamados.
So you're saying yun lang ang dahilan?
One of the reasons.
There's Helterbrand, fakes. Helterbrand goes in, drop pass. Hatfield scores.
Hatfield got 7 points in that first quarter in that game against Derby Ace. And that was fired 4 points here. Slowly but surely, trying to find this offensive groove. Alam naman natin matagal-tagal na bakante itong si Rudy Hatfield, but there he lost his footing, lost his defensive cover.
Well, hinayang dun si Milton Ambrose. Thought he had a clean block. Let's see if it was a clean block. Monroe turns around. Caught a bit of the forearm. Nakita ng ating Supreme Court for today. Jimmy Mariano, Romy Mangibin, and the Chief Justice is Art Herrera.
Barako is not really shooting the ball too well here in the first. Only 25, make that 40% from the free throw line. 21% from the 2 and nothing so far from the 3.
Barako Energy Coffee Master still down by 11 points. With under 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter.